And we welcome you back here as Victory University and Tennessee Temple University about to start the men's play here from Maltho Arena. We've had two women's games back-to-back to start the day. The winner of this one plays the winner of the following game. That is the Apprentice School and Rochester College. That happens at 5 today. In the middle to jump things off, it is Marco Starovic for Victory University, and Marco wins the tip-off. It's controlled now, going to Kristaps Bernans, driving in from the right side. Lost his dribble going inside. A Victory player down quickly the other way, poked away. Whelan's Bovell tried to go for the drive, but stepped out. And now on the rebound, the takeaway, the Victory turns it over on the baseline. Tennessee's head coach is Jeff Harlow in his first season. Victory University under the direction of Scott Robinson. Entry pass now, and Jordan Brown will try to set up shop. They go inside for Elliott Johnson. Johnson turnaround, post to the hole off the glass for two. And right away, Tennessee Temple takes an early two-point edge. Chris Downey pulls up, fires a long three, no good. Loose on the baseline. And now Tennessee Temple wants to slow things down just a little bit. Jarrett Smith, the fifth-year senior, running the show at the top of the key. Goes in front of the bench, now will swing it around the other way. Jordan Brown lost his dribble, poked away. Good no call there. Marco Stinson almost reached in. And Johnson will drive with 10 to shoot, pulls up. Just inside the arc, no good. Long rebound tipped out, it's back in the hands of Johnson with a fresh shot clock. Skip pass inside, now they'll find a wide open touch pass from the corner. Bovell for three, no good. Loose on the baseline, and that stays with Tennessee Temple. A great touch pass from Jordan Brown in the corner, as he almost stepped out of bounds a moment ago. 2-0, a minute 15 in. Tennessee Temple in the lead. They're the ones in the black. It's Victory University in the white. On the inbound, almost lost out of bounds. No call. Jordan Brown managed just to keep it in. And the Victory bench wanted that call, I think. They were up in arms. It's Brown from the left wing. He finds help in the corner. Hampton Mack wants to go inside. It's tipped away and taken by Victory. The Eagles won 10 of their last 11 to finish the regular season. We've seen this with a few teams in this tournament. Teams that come in after reeling off long winning streaks or long stretches where they win several like that. 10 of 11, 12 of 13. A mark you see in tournament play time and time again. Tyrell Hersey with a touch. Hersey has some room on the lane. The left-handed runner. No good. Long rebound and a foul before the rebound. I believe they'll whistle that against Hampton Mack. The senior picks up the foul. Almost 2 minutes in, so a bit of a slow start. We've seen that happen in a couple of the games today. Takes a few minutes for these offenses to rev up. Long three, and it's no good out of the hands of Tyrell Hersey. Goes the other way now. And this is Elliott Johnson on the left wing. That shirt of Johnson coming untucked very quickly. Jarrett Smith almost lost his dribble. A handoff in the lane to Hampton Mack, and a foul on the way. It looked like Smith almost fell turning the corner. Marco Stinson whistled for the call for Victory. And we'll see free throws for the first time today as Hampton Mack, the senior of Orlando, Florida, comes to the line. A little wide on that one. 17:43 to go in the opening half. And Tennessee Temple leads by a deuce. Second on the way. Pure. 3-0 now. Chris Downey looks for help in the left corner. A long three, and it's good. How about that finish from Tyrell Hersey, the senior, ties it up. Tempo starting to step up. Wide open look for three. Jordan Brown lays it down. Brown was wide open. He thought, why not? And of the two teams, it's Tennessee Temple that's getting into this game from the bench. Bench making a lot of noise. Not a lot of fans in this gym, so any energy has to come from the bench, and they know it. Long three this time, a little short. Out of the hands of Tyrell Hersey. Garrett Smith, the fifth-year senior, with a handoff. Brown stops, pops. They dump it inside instead. Hampton Mack, turnaround Jay, no good. Hauled in on the baseline by Downey. 16:40 left in the first half. Downey's going to drive. Downey in traffic, fires, and it's not going to fall, but he's fouled. He'll shoot a pair. The diminutive of Downey, 5'10" out of Memphis, Tennessee's Ridgeway High School. Foul is the team's second. It's a 6-3 ball game. Tennessee Temple on top with 16:36 left in the half. The first in and out, no good. We've seen these rims in the couple games that have been played today here at Maltho Gymnasium. Be a little unkind. I think sometimes you tend to see that out of the roof-hung structures. Second on the way. That was kind that time. Victory makes it a one-bucket game at 6-4. Tennessee Temple pushing momentum. It's Travaris Clark with the touch. Now they'll go to Hampton Mack. To the left wing now. Dump it inside. There's Mack again. Mack looking for help in the corner. Skip pass across court. A long three on the way from Bovell. And it's no good. Rebound gobbled up by Marco Starovic. And now Downey pulls up and buries a three. That gives Victory their first lead of the ballgame at 7-6. Downey wide open for the look, took it. Tennessee Temple breaks the press quickly. Travaris Clark. They go inside. Mack swings it around to the left corner. Three on the way from Bovell. Buries it from the corner. Back and forth we go in Whelan's Bovell, a member of the 1,000 Point Club, and a career 35% shooter from three-land. Puts the Crusaders on top. And now a missed three for Victory, and it's loose on the baseline. Goes back to Tennessee Temple. Bovell spent some time with Stetson University before transferring to Tennessee Temple. 1,000-point scorer. Just adding to his mark from three. So a 2-point edge now for Tennessee Temple with 15:25 left on a moving first half clock. Some substitutions. Darius Davis in the game. He'll get the feed in the low post. Davis kicks it around. Three attempt, no good. Whelan's Bovell a little short. Now Michael Davis wants to push the momentum, and he took steps in the lane on the way in. Had a wide open right side. One too many steps on the way to the bucket. That press for Victory starting to become a little more suffocating here. One-handed pass ahead from Jarrett Smith into the corner. Travaris Clark drives. Clark, deep free throw line. Dumps it down inside. And a nice look for Jarrett Smith down to the low blocks. Used the body and made some room. It's now an 11-7 Tennessee Temple lead. The Crusaders with the momentum in this game. Looking to upset a Victory team that's won 10 of 11. A handoff from Davis. This is Marco Starovic up top. Starovic almost traveled in front of the bench. Stinson with 10 to shoot fires from a long way. Not in time, and the rebound Tennessee Temple. Jarrett Smith pushes the pace to the right side. A little drive, floater, no good. Out of the hands of Elliott Johnson. The rebound gobbled by the big man out of Belgrade, Serbia. And now they can't keep it in bounds. They try to save it back, and a jam on the other end. Elliott Johnson, the senior, throws it down. And a timeout called by Victory University. Some miscommunication between Starovic and his teammates. A blown assignment there. And Elliott Johnson was there to gobble it up and throw down the jam. That makes it a 13-7 game here at the media timeout. Victory on top. And a reminder, Turbo Sports is the official videographer of the USCAA and all their national championships. TSG provides players, families, and fans with a chance to capture highlights from any major events by creating custom player highlight reels. Learn more online at www.turbosportsgroup.com. I think some confusion now about the length of the timeout because it was initially called as a 30-second timeout. Initially, they were going to extend that to the media timeout. Here's Michael Davis for Victory. As Victory now trails by 6, their biggest gap of the game. Dribble drive, no good. The putback, no good. Starovic fighting for it. He can't get his hands on the rebound. Keeps trying to tip it in, and it wasn't good. Boval from the right wing goes up top now to Jarrett Smith. They want to slow things up. Some room now for Johnson. Dribbles around the defender. Rims out, no good. Johnson with a rebound and the putback. He's fouled. I think Johnson feels confident driving the lane against Marko Starovic. And he's using his muscle for the putback. Now we'll see the media timeout. We have 13:24 left in the opening half. Tennessee Temple looking resurgent, leading 13-7. We'll step aside and hear this word from Turbo Sports Group. Back to action now. The first shot at the free throw line from Elliott Johnson falls. And with that, Tennessee Temple extends the lead to 14-7. Second rims in and out, and it's gobbled up by a Victory. Down a touchdown now with 13-18 and a moving first half clock. Glad to have you here from Malfa Gymnasium, the first of 2 men's games that will take place here today. Got the Apprentice School and Rochester College coming up after this. The 2 winners and the 2 losers of these 2 games will play tomorrow. On the drive, Michael Davis lost the dribble. Pass back up top, and that's going to go into the backcourt. Saved in bounds, but first gobbled in by Marcus Guy going the other way. Guy in traffic. Fires one up, no good. The tip, no good. Very physical underneath the basket. Taken the other way in transition by Travaris Clark. Fires one high off the glass, no good. Loose ball controlled by Boval. And now Tennessee Temple wants to slow things up. Why not? They've got the lead with 12:30 left on a moving clock. Almost lost his dribble. Darius Davis with the left hand there. And the lead grows to 9 points for Tennessee Temple. Meanwhile, Victory looking for something. They've been shut out for a long time now. Marco Stinson fires from 3 and hits a deep 3. Boy, if there was ever a time Victory needed something big like that, there it was. 11:55 left in the half, a 6-point game rather. Jarrett Smith breaks the press, and his pass almost in our faces right here. Saved inbounds by Wheelan's Boval, but he turns it over. It's Michael Davis going to the hole, and Davis fights it back for 2 more. Victory stifling Tennessee Temple a lot, and almost a backcourt violation. It's loose at half court, taken away by Johnson. Johnson to the hole, underhand layup, and it's good. A great save there by Elliott Johnson, who almost lost it at half court, almost committed the backcourt violation, and then finds some room on the right side. Sophomore Marcus Guy in looking for the spark, has a wide open lane. The left hand was a little short. Meanwhile, Tennessee Temple lagging back on offense. I don't know why they don't want to drive here. Some winded players from the looks of it. A teardrop pass inside and a foul as Darius Davis went up to the basket. They'll whistle that against Marco Stinson. For almost 10 straight minutes of play, both of these teams have wanted to do nothing but push the momentum. And I think you're starting to see that when seeing a lot of players here during this foul. Hands on their hips, hands on their knees. Free throw is good from Darius Davis. And some fresh bodies coming out for Tennessee Temple. We'll see Jake Freese and Jalen Smith for the first time today. At the stop inside 10 minutes left in this half, we'll see a media timeout as the free throw's good from Davis. And with that, I think Jeff Harlow is trying to use guys like Freese and Smith, the freshmen, to steal some time for some of his more winded players. So it's a smart move. You sit them before the media timeout, and extends that break without losing them for a lot of the game action. Now Downey's drive is thwarted. Taken away now, and Smith needs help. He's in all sorts of trouble. They do break the press. Jalen Smith goes back up top now for Jarrett Smith. Tennessee Temple wants to reverse things to the left side. Smith will post up against Michael Davis. A skip pass across court, three on the way is left short. Out of the hands of Traveris Clark. It's very loose on the sideline and out of bounds. Last touch by Tennessee Temple. To my right, Rochester College has arrived. Not a big crowd at the beginning of this game today because the crowds for the first two games were very similar in the women's bracket. Now a lot of the women's fans have left, and the fans for the guys tournament still streaming in. Michael Davis almost lost his dribble. A three from the corner. Downey misses that, and the rebound goes the other way. We've seen a couple players almost slip on the surface today. Pass down low is loose, and now knocked inbounds, controlled by Victory. They'll go on the breakaway. A little right-handed layup from Michael Davis. He did a great job there to slow the momentum right before getting to the basket. 20-14 your score. Right side, a three on the way. Back iron, no good. And no offensive rebound there for Tennessee Temple. Back to Victory. Davis will push the pace. Fires from the baseline, no good. What a spot there for Tevin Hill. And the junior in the right place at the right time. Nobody cleared out. A timeout on the floor. I think Tennessee Temple wants to address that. So Tennessee Temple, the underdog in this game, had at one point a 7-point lead. That's now down to 4. They'll take the 30-second timeout to try to get this under wraps. The pace of this game was very furious at the beginning. It has slowed a lot because these two teams look a little winded, especially Tennessee Temple right now. They wanted to drive a little bit harder than Victory at times. And now Tennessee Temple is going to leave some of their starters on the bench. Whelan's Boville's still down. Most notably, he's on the, Jarrett Smith, the senior's on the training table. We still have our media timeout to come at the next natural stoppage in this game. So Jeff Harlow trying to steal a few more minutes for them and extend this break so that he can have them for an extended run at the end of the half. 9 minutes on the nose left in the half, a 4-point game. It's in the left corner now. Jalen Smith kicks it all the way across court, and it's taken away. Tevin Hill, there he is again. A handoff to Chris Downey, and Downey gets it across the timeline. A pull-up leaner. Downey doesn't get it to fall, and it's out of bounds on the baseline. It'll stay with Victory University with 8:45 left in the first half of the game today. Your score, Victory University trails by 4. The Tennessee Tech Crusaders up 20-16. Another reminder quickly, the Torbo Sports is the official videographer of the USCAA. On all the national championships, TSG provides players, families, and fans with a chance to capture highlights from any major event by creating custom player highlight reels. Learn more online at www.torbosportsgroup.com. We'll step aside and we'll come back in 30 seconds. This is live coverage of the 2014 USCAA Basketball National Championships, hosted by Penn State Fayette on the Torbo Sports Group Network. And welcome back to live action. It is a 20-16 game, the 6th seed leading here through the first half. They've led most of the way. Eric Little with you from Maltho Gymnasium on the campus of PSU Fayette. Victory basketball after the timeout, and they'll bring back Tyrell Hersey. Hersey in the lane, a contested shot. Good defense by Elliott Johnson. And the rebound by Tennessee Temple. Trying to make this a one-possession game again. Now a lost dribble. Knocked out of bounds, they say, by Chris Downey. Tony Sparkman, the seniors in this game. Jake Freeze out there still. As we see an extended break for several Tennessee Temple principals. Really thought Jeff Harlow was going to bring back several of the starters after the media timeout, and it just didn't happen. A dump inside to Hampton Mack. Turnaround jumper, no good. And on the rebound, a whistle. And the whistle, Michael Davis with that. Excuse me, Jake Freeze gets the call. Only the second team foul against Tennessee Temple thus far today. 8:21 now to go in the first half. We've gone an extended time without either team scoring. Still 20-16. This is Downey for Victory. Finds Tevin Hill. Dumped down low, and a nice turnaround look from Marko Starovic, the freshman out of Serbia, with a right-handed scoop. 22-16 now. That press has been very tough. Or 20-18, excuse me. Tennessee Temple breaks that press. It's Hampton Mack swinging things around to Jake Freeze. A long three on the way from Elliott Johnson's no good. And a rebound by Victory. They can tie or lead this time down the floor. Michael Morelli, a dish down low, stripped on the way up. And that'll tie it right there. So he gets the recovery. And the 2 points to knot this game at 20-all. With 7:23 on a moving clock now. Turnaround look. The kick for Elliott Johnson from the left wing. He'll drive it himself. Fires a floater. No good. Loose ball put back. Hampton Mack can't get it to go. And the tip in from Johnson puts Tennessee Temple back up top and ends a long scoreless drought for the Crusaders. 7 minutes on the nose now to go in this first half. A 2-point ball game. A little bit of touching and grabbing up top. No whistles. They'll swing it down low. And now we'll see the call go against Tennessee Temple. Hampton Mack with a clutch. Whelan's Boville's going to come back in this game for Tennessee Temple. Victory brings Chris Downey off the floor. Now on the inbound, Tyrell Hersey looks for Marko Starovic. Starovic to a cutting Michael Davis to tie the game once again. Davis finds the back door wide open. We're knotted up with 6:45 left in the half. Elliott Johnson looks to push forward. Trapped along the side, along the backcourt line. Now a whistle out front. And the whistle, Boville on his first foul. Away from the play, and that gives the ball back to Victory. 22 all here, 6:30 to go in the first quarter. As Marcus Guy is back and almost lost his dribble there. A deep three from straight on for Hersey, and it's a little short. He hits the deck, no call. Tennessee Temple breaks the press. Elliott Johnson crossed up in front of us. Johnson drives in from the left wing. Turn around, look, and the scoop doesn't fall. It lingers on the rim just forever, and it doesn't drop. Going the other way, they find Marcus Guy in the left corner. He'll try a three. It'll be short. Tempo is picked up now that some of these players that needed a rest from earlier are on the floor again, and a foul on the floor. They'll whistle Michael Davis with that call. Now 14 fouls for the Victory Eagles. Tempo slowing up a little bit here. Elliott Johnson with a great crossover. Step back. Floater, no good. Not a lot of work on the offensive glass. Guys starting to sag off and play some defense. Now a pushback jumper from Michael Davis, and he gets that to fall. And Victory is out in front for the first time today at 24-22. A cutting Whelan's Boville goes down low. And a look from Traveris Clark, and it doesn't fall. Clark shoots a pair. The sophomore out of Chicago will go to the line. Victory with 5 team fouls is going to go to the bench a little bit here. They'll dig deeper than they've gone before in this game. Clark's shot on the way is good. Second on the way is good from Traveris Clark. So Tennessee Temple makes this a 1-point game. There's Michael Davis on the right side. Davis drives in, stripped on the way, no call. And it stays with Victory. And one thing we know early on is that you cannot drive to the basket, be harassed, and expect to get the call. You have to like how the officials are letting these two teams play. Now a three from the left wing. Marcus Guy is Victory's guy. A three-point edge for the Eagles. In transition, Elliott Johnson thought about driving to the hole, steps back, and now it's the Victory bench making the noise. Inside look for Darius Davis. It doesn't go. Tip around control by Victory. Again, not a lot of folks in this gym to cheer. So that's all got to come. The energy's all got to come from the bench. A great crossover from Davis. Step back, Marcus Guy from the other side. Buries one from the left wing, buries one from the right wing. A personal 6-0 run for Guy. Ties the game. Tennessee Temple the other way. Swings it down low. That's Jarrett Smith. Smith hands off to Davis. He's stripped on the way up. And a foul on the attempt from Jordan Brown. So Marcus Guy with the last 6 points of this game has given Victory their largest lead of the afternoon. 4:03 left in this first half. And Jordan Brown is at the line to shoot a pair now. Shot on the way is good from Jordan Brown. Now Darius Davis comes back to the bench for Tennessee Temple. And now we have a whistle here off the free throw attempt, or a foul rather on the attempt. We've got some officials at the scorer's table now. And now we'll see Tennessee Temple get a technical foul assessed on them. Jeff Harlow wants a further explanation. We'll try to sort this out. With 4:03 left in the first half, it's 30-25 in favor of Victory. Let's step aside for this word from Torbo Sports Group. Welcome back on Turbo Sports Group. Marcus Guy is going to shoot the free throws for Victory off of the technical foul. He makes the first. Some words exchanged on the blocks during the Tennessee Temple free throw attempts. Second on the way, and it rattles home. And now Tennessee Temple will shoot the remainder of the Jordan Brown free throws. So this will be just one shot here to finish off business from earlier. That's off the rim, no good. Pulled in by Tyrell Hersey. So after all that, the foul and then the technical mid-foul, it's a 7-point game, and on the cut, Marcus Guy fouled on the way in. Great cut by Guy and a better feed from Davis to thread the needle. So the sophomore from Memphis's Overton High School will go to the line. First on the way from Guy is good. Well, you expect there to be a heavy flavor when it's a school like this in a city of players from that school, but a really heavy Memphis flavor on this Victory roster. Second from Guy, in and out, no good. Rebound by Tennessee Temple. You've got Guy, Marcus Downey, Tevin Hill, and Mariko Stinson from Memphis. And now Tennessee Temple coughs it up. Here comes Tyrell Hersey. Hersey thought about dishing, and he gives it up, but a foul as Jared Smith is tripped up. Meanwhile, the lead for Victory is out to 8. That's their largest lead of the day. They were down by as many as 7 earlier in this half. Now both teams in the bonus with 3:39 on the stop clock. Downey picks up the foul. That is foul number 7 to put Smith at the line for the 1-and-1. The first is good. So he'll earn a second. Again, the winner of this game plays the winner of the game between the Apprentice School and Rochester College. That one takes place immediately following this one. Smith, who graduates in May, takes his second shot, and it rattles in and out. The rim's not kind there. Downey will push the tempo. A handoff to Christoph Bernans. They give back to Hersey. Looking for help. Back to Given. Now back to Downey. Downey fires from the corner. It's no good. And Bernans can't get the handle on the rebound into the basket. A great feed from Gibson by Downey. On the inbound. Here's Downey. Looking to go to the right side, and it's Guy this time will have a lane. Guy drives and puts up a runner that falls. The lead is now back to 9 points at 35-26. Now the injury pass, Smith has it knocked away by the leg of Marcus Guy, and Tennessee Temple struggling to move the ball up the floor on offense. Wants to take a timeout here. I think they're going to take a 30-second timeout. Liberty was confused as to why there wasn't a stop ball on the kick. But it hit the leg and not the foot. Another reminder, folks, Turbo Sports Group is the official videographer of the USCAA and all their national championships. TSG provides players, families, and fans with a chance to capture highlights from any major events by creating custom player highlight reels. Learn more at www.turbosportsgroup.com. Well, back to action with 2:55 left in this first half, which has been very fast-paced at times. Tennessee Temple trail by as many as 7, and now they lead by 9, looking to stretch that to a double-digit lead before the break. They'll swing it around to the left side. A drive and a turn from Elliott Johnson. Hoists one off the glass for 2. And there is that 11-point lead now. Meanwhile, Victory has gone cold from the field. A look up top for Tavis Gibson. Now a Marcus Guy who's been a spark plug. Scott Robinson going with those guards today. The 3 on the way is no good. And the guards have replaced the bigs by and large in the later part of this first half. A 3 the other way, off the back of the iron, no good. Almost a foul on the collision there. And now a slip from Traveris Clark, and he travels. It's the 3rd game on this floor today here at the Malvo Gymnasium. And they mop the floor at halftime of every game, and they mop the floor at the end of every game. And inevitably a little bit of sweat builds up. Maybe the dust on that mop makes it a little dry. Hersey swings it around to Chris Downey. Downey will go back to the left side and find Marcus Guy, who can't find his dribble. Guy has his shot rejected. The putback is no good. Loose ball on the floor. Hersey thought about a 3. He'll drive in with a scoop, and he can't get the rim to bring that one in. Outlet pass the other way to Whelan's Bovell, and he's fouled. So he'll shoot a pair. It's a 7-point game. My scoreboard was errant. 35-28 your score here. My apologies for the confusion. The shot is good from Whelan's Bovell. To make it a 5-point game, doesn't do it. Still a 2-bucket game with 1:30 left in the first half. 35-29. The 3rd-seeded Victory Eagles with the ball now. It's Marcus Guy going back up top. A 3 from Hersey from straight away. No good. Loose ball pulled in by Whelan's Bovell. In and out of the hands of Jarrett Smith. They save it to Bovell. They got to get it across half court. They can't do it. It's taken away by Hersey. Hersey, the distance for the dunk. An 8-point edge now, 60 seconds left in the half. Johnson having all sorts of trouble breaking half court. They do finally get it ahead to Jordan Brown. Brown drives in from the left side. A scoop runner, and it's good. A good look there from Brown to make this a 6-point game. Strong to the hole. Tennessee Temple recovered now from the Victory dunk. A differential in the shot clock of about 12 seconds. The Victory will look to hold things for just a little bit. Downey will go here with 10. Strapped to the sideline and forced out of bounds. We've seen players slip entirely out of bounds, or entirely to the ground. And when Downey went to plant the right foot and make the turn along the sideline, that foot slid just a little bit. Shot clock is off, and now a huge opportunity for Tennessee Temple, who led this game by as many as 7 earlier in this half, to try to make this with a 3, a one-possession game going into the locker room. And now they'll slow things up with a fifth-year senior, Jarrett Smith. 10 now in the half. They go up top to Brown. Swinging it around to Elliott Johnson. Johnson working on the low post. Fires up a loose one. No good. Behind the back dribble from Marcus Guy on the sideline. He stepped out of bounds. Or did he? The officials want a second back on the clock. Guy stepped out of bounds before he was able to fire up the runner. They've got to get the clock straightened up. They had .1, and I think our official wants 1 second on the clock. With .1, you don't have the time to catch and release. Traveris Clark wants to inbound the ball right away, but they've got to get this clock issue fixed. With a decent inbound and an open look, Tennessee Temple could get that look at a 3. If I'm Jeff Harlow, I'd consider a timeout here. They do find Jordan Brown. Turnaround look. It's late and waved off. So at the buzzer, Victory is going to take a 37-31 lead into the locker room at half after trailing, as I said earlier, by as many as 7 points at this half and leading by as many as 9. They'll be glad to take that lead into the half at 6 points. So again, a 3 versus a 6. The 6 providing a very stout opposition, but it's Victory that takes the 6-point lead into the half. We'll step aside here at the half. We'll come back with second half action in a short moment. You've been watching live coverage of the 2014 USCAA Basketball National Championships, hosted by Penn State Fayette on the Torbo Sports Group Network. Second half action coming right up. And welcome back to the Maltha Gymnasium live on the campus of Penn State University Fayette. Eric Little with you on Turbo Sports Group today. Number 3, Victory leads Tennessee Temple 37-31 at the half. Victory had trailed at certain points in the first half by as many as 7. Tennessee Temple as trailed by as many as 9. But Victory holds a 7 or a 6-point advantage here as we're a few moments away from half number 2. First, some team stats from half number 1. Victory shooting 38% from the field. Tennessee Temple shooting 33% from the field. Tennessee Temple has the edge in getting to the free throw line. They've had 14 attempts, which is more than twice as many as Victory's 7. Rebounding is in the favor of Tennessee Temple. 26-22, they hold the edge there, with most of the rebounds coming on the defensive glass. Second chance points, 5-4 slight edge for Tennessee Temple, and so too points off the bench by that same margin. Points off turnovers, Tennessee Temple leads that 7-6. So the turnover battle not to decide one way or the other. Tennessee Temple has an 11-9 edge on Victory in that one. Tennessee Temple is led scoring-wise by Elliott Johnson, and Johnson has 11 points in this ball game. Victory led by Marcus Guy off the bench with his 11 points in the contest. Tyrell Hersey, by the way, closing in on a double-double perhaps for him if he has a big second half. 5 points from Hersey for Victory and 7 rebounds in the first half. So if he has a big half, you never know. Elliott Johnson with 11 points for Tennessee Temple, as I said, and 7 rebounds in that half. So that is a definite possibility, and something we'll keep an eye on as we move closer to second half action. Glad to have you with us today from Maltha Gymnasium on the campus of PSU Fayette. It's going to be Tennessee Temple basketball on the alternate possession rule. And so here we go, 20 minutes to decide this, to see who moves on in the 3-6 game. The 6th seed Tennessee Temple holds first. It's Hampton Mack going right side into Jarrett Smith. Steps over defender, loses the ball at his feet. Now Whelan's Bovell wants to go down low. There's Mack. Hampton Mack with the look, no good. Bovell tries to get the rebound. It's loose. The backboard shaking wildly after that one. Loose ball in the far corner and a foul here. The officials can get their story straight. It's going to go against Chris Downey to make sure they get the right player. On the entry pass, Jarrett Smith took steps and it goes the other way. On the other end, Marco Stinson fouled on the left wing. Apologies, we left the banner graphic on the bottom up a little long, blocked some of your view. Almost a full 5 seconds, but Victory uses the backcourt on the inbound. It's there, you might as well use it. Not sure why more people don't. Chris Downey will run now. We'll pull back. Tyrell Hersey with those 5 and 7. Crossover look from the left wing. A very high look off the supports above the backboard, so that's going to go the other way. I think Hersey thought that shot was going to be contested a little bit more than it was. Sling the other end. Jarrett Smith will pull up at the free throw line. A little short. Loose ball pulled in by the Serbian Marko Sterovic. And he's fouled on the way. Or no, it's lost off of Tennessee Temple, excuse me. Nobody has scored in this half, a little more than a minute in. They might have gotten away with a carry there. Burnens had it and it's tucked in his arm. Meanwhile, Sterovic recovers. His 3 misses. Can't save it in the corner. It does stay in. Dashing to the basket, Tyrell Hersey has 7 today with some room on the right side. A very wild possession. Almost thrown away by Liberty. Tennessee Temple with the first points, or rather Victory with the first points of the half. And a whistle the other way. It's going to go against Chris Downey. Another foul for him. Michael Davis comes off the bench now. A dump inside for Elliott Johnson. His look is a little short. Now 2 minutes into the half, Tennessee Temple hasn't scored. For that matter, Victory has just two. A long three on the way. Stinson leaves it a little short. Wanted a foul there, doesn't get it. Here's Jared Smith driving the other way. He'll leave it for Hampton Mack, and Mack finds the glass for a pair. (39-33) now. 17:40 left in the half. Michael Davis dumps it inside, looking for Starovic. Turnaround jumper, a little short. Jared Smith trying to run, has some room to kick. Right wing three on the way. No, in and out. Little long from Whelan's Bovell. Oh, the Tennessee Temple bench on their feet. They wanted that one. And speaking of, Bovell got his feet tangled with Michael Davis, and he'll get whistled on the block foul. Right in front of us. Have a moment here as Michael Davis adjusts his shoes. Rochester College and the Apprentice School immediately following this one. The winners will play tomorrow at 10 p.m., a late start. And the losers will play at 10 a.m., stretching the delta both ways. At the top of the key, Hersey will swing things around to Michael Davis. Davis will drive. Davis stops. He'll look in from the left wing. No, he's got some room. He'll take it himself with the right hand, a little strong. Going the other way, Elliott Johnson. In the fast break, Johnson almost lost his dribble, up and under. Johnson can't get that one to go. On the far side, Davis. They swing it into the corner. Here's Hersey. They go back up top looking for Davis. Davis the drive. Davis the left hand, and he gets that to fall. And now we'll see a timeout. Victory leading by 8 points once again. They'll take the 30-second timeout, leading 41-33. The 3-seed Victory will extend this one to a victory, will extend this one to a media timeout. And in the process, we'll remind you that you can purchase a video download of any contest from this week's national championships by heading to our website. That's www.turbosportsgroup.com. Make the order of the game film, and Turbo Sports will send you a link to download the game in full for yours to keep forever. We will have every game available in HD and full audio commentary. Again, that's on our website at www.turbosportsgroup.com. You can keep it in posterity, show the kids, show the grandkids, the aunts, the uncles, your best friend too. Purchase that game video at www.turbosportsgroup.com. We'll step aside here from Maltho Gymnasium. 41-33 your score in favor of Victory University. Back in 30 seconds on Turbo Sports Group. Back to live action after the media timeout. Tennessee Temple basketball trailing by 8. It's their deepest deficit in some time. The longest today was 9 points. Hampton Mack looking to make it happen. A dump pass inside for Elliott Johnson. Johnson fights through the trees and powers his way to the hoop. And he gets the foul. And that is the loudest roar we've heard out of the Tennessee Temple Crusaders in some time. Johnson weaves his way through two defenders, and he gets a chance at the line. So aside from the first 10 minutes of this game when the momentum was all Victory, Tennessee Temple starting to grab some of that back right now. Johnson at the line, and the senior gets that one to fall. And that pulls this game to within 5, as close as it's been in some time. Tennessee Temple needs a big stop here. Their bench cheering them on. Downey, the handoff to Burnons. They go back up top to Tavis Gibson. Gibson looking for help, finds Mariko Stinson. Lost his dribble at the free throw line. It's loose. Kick back to Michael Davis. 15 to shoot. Davis can't get the handle on it. Johnson scoops it up. There's the stop for the Crusaders. Here comes Smith driving. A kick to the left wing. They thought about the three there. Instead, Elliott Johnson drives in. Forces one up. No good. The tip back misses. Still loose. Batted around near half court. Controlled by Mariko Stinson going the other way. So a big stop there for Victory. Michael Davis wants to set up shop. Davis has a wide open lane. The right-hand floater falls for Michael Davis. The lead stretched back out to 7. Elliott Johnson trying to drive off the ball screen. Tied up by Burnans, and they're going to call Burnans for the kick. It was subtle if it was anything. He moved the foot just a little bit. It looked more like the ball was dribbled into his foot than anything. Shot clock's back to 23 now for Tennessee Temple with 15:09 left in the ball game. 7-point edge for Victory. Swing around to the left side. Traveris Clark thought about popping the three right there. Teardrop pass inside for Hampton Mack. Turnaround look is short for Mack. It's on the baseline, saved in, and then thrown back to his bench. Well, the good news for Smith, he threw it to the guys wearing the black jerseys. The bad news, they were the ones sitting on the bench. Clock whistled for immediate timeout. There's some confusion. Jeff Harlow, the coach of the Crusaders, says we already had our immediate timeout. They extended the last timeout into immediate timeout, but they whistle for one here with in second quarter action. It's 43-36 your score. Victory leads. Let's hear this word from Torbo Sports Group. And with 14:53 left in the ballgame, we're back to action from Maltha Gymnasium on the campus of PSU Fayette here in Uniontown. Eric Little with you on Torbo Sports Group. A three on the way from the top of the key. Tavis Gibson misses the deep three. Here's Jared Smith. Will slow things down. Bark out some commands up top. The fifth-year senior looks for Hampton Mack. Mack wants to go inside. Can't do it. Back to Smith, and they almost lost it. A jump step, a kick for three, and it's knocked down from the corner. Jordan Brown throws it down. Tennessee Temple back to within 4, as close as it's been since the first half. All the momentum back to the Crusaders. Michael Davis looking to drive. Davis, the spin move, no foul. Hoists the shot. It's off of Tennessee Temple. 20 to shoot here. Tennessee Temple's head coach, Jeff Harlow, up in arms that there was no foul call there. Having a discussion with the official. Now a drive from the left wing. And Mariko Stinson with a left-hand scoop for Victory. Their lead grows to 7. Hampton Mack wants to go inside. They've got a cutting Elliott Johnson, and it's waved off. A foul before the pass inside. I believe that's going to go against Tavis Gibson. Now on the inbound, it is Brown in the corner. Brown dribbling back up top for Jared Smith. Fresh shot clock. Smith trying to drive. Smith has some time. They go inside now for Hampton Mack. A turnaround look and a whistle. I think they're going to get Burnans with a block on the low post. Kristaps Burnans, the senior from Riga, Latvia. That's his first and Victory's fifth foul of this half. So Tennessee Temple very close to getting in the bonus here, trailing by 7. Turnaround look. Elliott Johnson gets it to go. Back to a 4-point game here with 13:23 left. A lot of time to go in this ball game. A much more deliberate look from Michael Davis this time. Can't work off the pick. Burnans with a touch. Back to Davis, the three from the wing. Pure! Knocks it down! And the lead back to 7 for Victory and a timeout for Tennessee, or for Victory rather. They take the timeout with 13:08 left in the game. Some confusion there. Burnans had the lane, wanted to take it on the right side. The kick back to Davis. He got the open look for a second time in that possession and absolutely knocked it down from the left wing. So Victory's lead back out to 7. And Tennessee Temple here, a really good run away from making this one a nail-biter down the stretch. Don't go away, folks. These Crusaders have had a lot of trouble scoring since about the halfway point in the first half. They're scratching and clawing their way. Here is Traveris Clark. Now back up top for Hampton Mack, and they say Mack traveled. Pleading his case to the officials, but they'll have none of it. So Victory ball here. And now they can go up by as many as 10 on this possession. Up top, Davis Gibson with the give to Michael Davis. Davis runs the lane, and Davis with the right hand makes this a 50-41 ball game. Tennessee Temple, you just have the sense they need a bucket right here. Mack looking into the right corner, wants to find a cutter and can't do it. Smith back to Mack. Thought about the long two. Why not? He'll take it and knock it down. Hampton Mack with a huge shot right there. Uncontested. Marcus Guy in this game once again. Demarico Stinson. Now Davis pulls out and sets up shop once again. A good pick there from Burnans. Davis looks for Guy in the corner, and they can't connect. A little wide, and the turnover gives Tennessee Temple a chance to get back into this one. Again, Tennessee Temple out of Chattanooga. Victory out of Memphis. These two Tennessee schools have to come all the way to South Central Pennsylvania to meet in a national championship. Tennessee Temple the 6 in this bracket, Victory the 3. Victory has won 10 of their last 11 to finish the regular season. An aptly named group of ball players. While Tennessee Temple's been hot, they've won 8 of 10 and 11 of their last 13. One of those trends is going to come to an end today. Shot on the way. Jarrett Brown lets it fly, and it's too strong. And they're going to whistle Traveris Clark for pushing off the back. Clark goes, "Are you serious?" Whether it was a push or not, so many times when you have your hands on the player, as long as it looks like a push, it's going to get called a push. 11:30 left in the ball game. Victory up 7. Inside from Michael Guy. A kick up top to Tavis Gibson. Back up top now to Stinson. Stinson lets it fly for three and makes it a 10-point game. 53-43. First time it's been in double digits for a while. You really have the sense that Tennessee Temple needs a run to get back into this game. All the momentum on the Victory bench. On the low blocks, Mack turns around the defender, almost slips. A kick out to Johnson. Johnson steps forward, fires up a little wide. Saved on the baseline by Victory. They want to run with it, though most of their players are trapped in the backcourt. It ends up top with Downey. And now to Stinson, who lets a long three fly, and it's short. 10.5 minutes to go in the game. Victory up 10. Elliott Johnson will drive from the left wing. A spin, the move, and a great use of the window there from Elliott Johnson. A very clutch basket to make this 53-45. Guy on the left wing will go up top. A three coming. There's Stinson again. Well, he feels hot nowadays. Misses that. A handoff in the corner from Starovic. Was trying to get the ball to Downey and a whistle in front of the bench. Whistles against Tennessee Temple. It's Jarrett Smith's second foul, the team's fourth. So with that, we'll see a timeout on the floor. 9:56 to play in this ball game. The lead belongs to the number 3 seed Victory, 53-45. We'll step aside from this word from Torbo Sports Group. And we're back to action. 9:50 left in the ball game. 53-45. The lead belongs to Victory, and they've got the basketball in front of us as Marcus Guy has it. A crossover dribble. Guy in the lane fires up a little floater. It's no good. Off balance look there from Guy, and a rebound Tennessee Temple. Jarrett Smith, the kick back to the right wing. Three from Elliott Johnson. Buries one. Beautiful look, and it makes this a 5-point game again with 9:20 left in the game. And now the Tennessee Temple players on the sideline are standing and chanting. Huge possession here for Victory. It's Downey on the left wing. Looking to drive. Spins inside, off the glass, a little strong. The putback, and it doesn't rattle home. Good look there from Tyrell Hersey, but a foul under the basket the other way. That's going to go on the big guy, Marko Starovic. So he'll come to the bench with 8:57 left in this game, and we'll see Kristaps Burnons come back. That is 4 fouls on Starovic. Tennessee Temple trying to save as much time as possible here, trailing by 5. Elliott Johnson with it. He'll get the offense in motion. A dump inside for Darius Davis, and Davis can't get a handle on it. It's a little too strong. Good idea from Johnson. Davis had a nice cut to the basket. And the Johnson forced it in there a little too strong. Michael Davis looking for Marcus Guy. The pace of this game has slowed considerably. Both of these teams ran for long periods in the first half. They didn't come out of the locker room running a lot in this half. Now a drive in for the baseline. Burnons kicks it out. Behind the back dribble, 10 to shoot. Here's Hersey. Hersey goes down low, looking for help. It's on the deck, controlled by Tennessee Temple. Jarrett Smith will drive. Smith, the handoff behind his back to Jake Freeze. It's loose and kicked around. Pull-up jumper for Traveris Clark, and he knocks it down, and it's a one-possession game once again. The 6th seed led at times in the first half by as many as 7, then trailed in the first half by as many as 9. They have scratched and clawed, and the Crusaders are back in this game down 3 with 7:45 to go. And now a steal on the other end. Here's Jarrett Smith, coast to coast with a right hand. It's a little strong. Freeze with a putback, and he's fouled! Jake Freeze gets it to fall, and he's going to go to the line with a chance to tie this game. After Tennessee Temple trailed by as many as 10 here in the second half. And it's the freshman Jake Freeze that leads them. This game hasn't been tied since the first half. Freeze can do it right here. The free throw is off the side. No good. It remains a 1-point game. 7:30 left. Marcus Guy looking for Stinson. Now back up top to Hersey, who's trying for the double-double. Meanwhile, Michael Morelli in on this possession for Victory. Haven't seen him in this game. Now a double team. Guy is trapped. It's stolen away. Here's Davis to the rim. Davis gives Tennessee Temple the lead. A 1-point edge with 7 minutes left in the ball game. A great take there by Darius Davis. Guy with a handoff. A little pull-up look from Stinson won't go. And it's on the deck, rebounded by Traveris Clark. But they're going to get Kristaps Burnons of Victory on the foul. Burnons hit the deck, and I think he tripped up Clark after the rebound. And that's going to put Clark at the line with a front end of a one-on-one. That's the 7th team foul against Victory. Tennessee Temple at 19-11 trying to pull the upset over the 3 seed in this tournament. Again, we told you earlier, Tennessee Temple has won 8 of their last 10, but Victory has been just as hot, 10 of 11. The free throw, a little short. The lead stays at 1 for Tennessee Temple. You have the sense that now it's Victory that wants the time to bleed away. Guy will drive. Guy forces one up. Doesn't fall. Rebound by Jake Freeze, who is suddenly picking up some very valuable minutes for Tennessee Temple. Jarrett Smith will find Darius Davis. Davis will drive in a spin. He'll throw one up a little wide. Pulled in by Hersey. And now it's Victory every time down the floor. The Eagles keep wanting to slow things up. Guy wanted to hand it off to Hersey. He's double-teamed. Gets it away to Hersey. Hersey looking for help. Got help in the paint. Now a long skip pass out our way toward Mariko Stinson. He'll pull up for 3. A long attempt falls short. And Tennessee Temple with the lead and with the rebound here. 5:45 left on a moving clock. Tennessee Temple has trailed by as many as 10 in this second half after leading by as many as 7 in the first. A kick to the corner, 3 on the way. Elliott Johnson, no good. And now a foul on the rebound attempt. They'll get Darius Davis for a bit of a reach. 5:31 left in the ball game. 54-53 your score. And we'll see Victory yet again be deliberate down the floor. All the noise, all the chatter on the bench coming from Tennessee Temple. It's up top for Davis. He'll have some room to drive. Forces one up. No foul. Lots of contact. Tennessee Temple ball. Here's Jared Smith going the other way. Clark wanted to fire away from the corner. He drives. It's no good. Loose on the deck. It's out of bounds. Goes back to Victory. And if Traveris Clark had a cleaner handle on the ball on the right wing, he would have at least fired the three. Marcus Guy will set things up once again for Victory. Guy a dribble from the right side. Well defended against the bench. Guy tries to dish it on the baseline. Knocked away, controlled by Tennessee Temple. Their lead remains at 1. Elliott Johnson almost found Freeze in the corner. Instead will keep it himself. Johnson works to the far side. A skip pass for Traveris Clark. Clark fires the deep three. Clark buries the deep three. A 4-point edge for Tennessee Temple. Their largest lead since the first half. Inside of 4:15 to go in this game. The bucket is sealed shut now, and a block foul. Hard collision between Jake Freeze and Tavis Gibson. As I was saying, the bucket seemingly sealed shut for Victory. And they'll head to the bench and talk about it. Media timeout with 4:13 to go in the game. We got a good one. Stay with us. It is 57-53 in favor of Tennessee Temple University. And if you want to order this one, you might want to see this one again. Don't forget you can purchase a video download of any contest from this week's national championships by heading to our website at www.turbosportsgroup.com. Make the order of the game film, and Turbo Sports will send you a link to download the game in full for yours to keep forever. We'll have every game available in HD and full audio commentary. Again, that's on our website at www.turbosportsgroup.com. We'll be back in 30 seconds for the exciting conclusion. This is the 2014 WSCAA Basketball National Championships, hosted by Penn State Fayette on the Turbo Sports Group Network. It's a 4-point game with Tennessee Temple grabbing their largest advantage since the first half. They led by as many as 7 in the first half, trailed by as many as 10 in this half. They have scratched and clawed their way back into it against the Victory Eagles. Victory is the 3 seed, Tennessee Temple the 6 seed. Victory needs something on this drive at 4 minutes now. The kick on the way in, and it's doesn't fall, but a foul. Michael Davis to the line. Block called on Hampton Mack, the senior. Again, coming right up, it's the Apprentice School against Rochester College. The winner of this one and the winner of that one will play tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Shot on the way, good, from Michael Davis. The losers of this one and that Apprentice Rochester game, they will face off tomorrow morning at 10. A 12-hour difference in the tip times of those games. Second on the way, good. Davis gets it to fall. A couple huge free throws there. A 2-point game now. The lead still with Tennessee Temple inside of 4 minutes left. Johnson breaks the press ahead to Freeze. A handoff to Smith. Wants to drive, instead finds Mack. They'll swing it to the left side, and Elliott Johnson. A floater pass in for Freeze, and he's fouled on the way in. And that's going to go against the big guy, Marco Starovic, I do believe, and I think that's 5 on him. That post presence inside, that 7-footer, is done for the afternoon. He'll head to the bench with 5 fouls. And here comes Kristaps Bernons in at 6'4". Bernons gives up several inches, 8 of them to be exact. The free throw from Freeze misses everything. So the native of Belgrade, Serbia, out of this game with 5 fouls. Meanwhile, Freeze misses the second. Victory has the ball, trailing by 2 with 3:30 to go in the ball game. Davis, a handoff up top. It's Hersey, and they'll whistle that dead before Hersey's drive. And I think they're going to get Elliott Johnson with that foul. That's his first and the 8th on the Crusaders. So if Hersey can convert both in the one-on-one, it would tie this game. The first, good enough to earn a second. And now the Crusaders to tie this one up. We'll have Hersey at the line here. And a substitution before the shot. Whelan's Bovell comes back in this game. He's been in foul trouble, and he's back. Jake Freeze gets some valuable minutes, and now Freeze heads to the bench. What a spot for Freeze in those minutes. All those, well, for the most part, they came in the second half. This is the tie. And we're knotted up at 57 here, inside of 3.5 minutes to play. The 3 and the 6 game in this men's Division I bracket. A fantastic one thus far. Jarrett Smith gets it across the timeline. Finds Elliott Johnson. A handoff back to Smith. They'll find Hampton Mack. They've liked having it in his hands. Johnson almost fumbles it out of bounds. A floater to Bovell. They can't get it inside. 10 to shoot. Now a pull-up jumper from Smith from 2. No good. And the putback onto the basket. Elliott Johnson can't get it to go. Rebound by Victory. Boy, without that 6-footer in there, you've really got to drive if you're Tennessee Temple. On the other end, Guy can't get the handle on it. Up and under. Guy gets it to fall. And now Victory back up on top. An acrobatic shot for Marcus Guy. He's their guy with 2:35 left. 2-point edge. Johnson a bounce pass inside. They find Hampton Mack. Mack working up the low post. Puts one up. It's no good, but he's fouled as Kristaps Bernons picks up another one. That's the 10th team foul against Tennessee Temple. 3 for Bernons, and now we'll see Mack at the line for 2, and most importantly, on every Victory foul from here on out, the Crusaders will shoot a pair. First is in and out. It's Jake Freeze back on the floor in relief of Whelan's Bovell. Max second on the way. In and out. Huge misses. They would have tied the game. And now a foul on the other end. Bernons in the blocks made contact with Traveris Clark. So Bernons picks up another one really quickly. He's got 4 now. So after 2 attempts that would have tied the game, both go wide. Traveris Clark has his chance to tie it. First step of that is good. A 1-point edge. This to tie from Clark. Knotted up at 59 once again. Well, Victory wouldn't go home with a loss in this game. But let's be honest, neither of these two teams wants to play in the consolation game, even if it weren't played at 10 a.m. Drive in from Hersey. Floater with the right hand, doesn't fall. Jake Freeze gobbles up the rebound. 2 minutes to go in this one, tied at 59. Here's Jarrett Smith. They'll swing it to the left side. It's inside for Mack. A kick around back to Smith. A drive, the dish inside for Freeze. Can't get that to go as Bernons gets the rebound. Outlet look ahead, a wide open Marcus Guy. Guy throws it off the glass, and Victory's back on top by a bucket. 1:40 to go in this ball game. Rochester and the Apprentice School awaiting the winner of this game plays the winner of that game. Entry pass for Mack. Looking to kick it outside, he does for Jarrett Brown, the fifth-year senior with a head fake. And now it's out to Elliott Johnson. 1:18 on the clock, 10 to shoot. Johnson with a drive. Johnson gets it to fall to tie the game at 2, and a timeout by Tennessee Temple. With 1:13 to play in this game, we are knotted up at 61 apiece after the great dribble drive by Elliott Johnson. Johnson's been the guy for much of the ball game today. No different here. We'll recap things for you. We're tied at 61. Both of these teams in the bonus. For Tennessee Temple, they're in the double bonus. And the possession arrow favors Tennessee Temple, and that could be huge. A tie-up on the deck could decide possession one way or another. And in a game where we are running out of time and running out of possessions, each one counts. 1:13 to go in the ball game. It's going to be Victory basketball on the inbound. They'll leave things in the backcourt. Chris Downey back in this game now to run the show on offense. Downey finds Guy. They're going to go with a 3-guard set. The shooter, Hersey's up top. It's in Downey's hands. Now back to Michael Davis. Inside a minute to play on the game clock. Guy looking for a screen. Instead goes to Downey. Victory can't get it inside. They've got 10 to shoot. They've got to do something with it. Davis, 5 to shoot. A crossover has a lane. The right-hander's no good. Loose ball down near half court. Kicked away. And it's going to be a shot clock violation. 37.1 on the clock. 35 on the shot clock. So Tennessee Temple can hold for what would be very close to the final shot in this game. Trying to pull the upset. They've wanted it in Johnson's hands for much of this game. They've wanted it in Hampton Max. Johnson goes to the fifth-year senior, Jarrett Smith. He's always a good pick. A swing to the right corner. Freeze dumps it in. It's stolen away. Bernons with a huge steal. Shot clock off. Tied at 61. Here's Marcus Guy. Moving it across half court and a timeout. Victory University. We have not had an overtime game in this tournament on either the men's or the women's side thus far, and that might end here in 12.4 seconds. Got a full timeout here, and while we have a moment, we'll remind you, you can purchase a video download of any contest from this week's national championships by heading to our website at www.turbosportsgroup.com. Make the order of the game film, and Turbo Sports will send you a link to download the game in full for yours to keep forever. We'll have every game available on HD and full audio commentary. Again, that's on our website at www.turbosportsgroup.com. Well, regardless of what happens in the final possession or possessions of this game, you know it's going to be memorable. Might not be a bad idea to make that download order. We've said a couple times, you've got two teams that scratched and clawed to get here and are riding hot streaks. Tennessee Temple, winners of 8 of the last 10. Victory, winners of 10 of the last 11. Liberty just couldn't bury Tennessee Temple early in the second half when they led by 10. That was their biggest lead of the game. Tennessee Temple led by 7 in the first half, trailed by 10. But it's Victory with the ball now. Off the dribble. Davis looking for Guy on the left wing. 3 to shoot. Davis, or Guy now with a drive on the baseline. Can't force one up, and we're headed for overtime. Marcus Guy has his shot on the baseline rejected. So we're going to head to overtime for the first time in this tournament. Victory University and Tennessee Temple knotted at 61 all. Both of these teams have played very valiantly, and they're going to fight for an extra 5 minutes to decide who moves on to play the winner of the Apprentice School and Rochester College. We'll take a few minutes and talk about it here as we head to overtime from Maltho Gymnasium. 2 women's games in this bracket down here earlier, and they both weren't terribly close. The men take the floor, and we've got a barn burner. This one has been close throughout. Again, the 10-point lead that Victory had over Tennessee Temple in the second half, earlier in the second half, is the biggest lead for either of these two teams at any point in this game. It was all Tennessee Temple early, leading by 7. By the time the half had ended, at 1 point, the Crusaders had trailed by 9. Meanwhile, Victory led by 10 early in the second half. But little by little, Tennessee Temple chipped and chipped and chipped away. Foul trouble began to erode away at Liberty. They've got the big Serbian Marko Starovic out of this game. He has 5 fouls, so he is finished. So we go to overtime, tied at 61. And it'll be Tyrell Hersey jumping things off now with Starovic out of this game, and Elliott Johnson. Tip-off is into the hands of Victory. So they'll control first in overtime. This is Chris Downey looking to go left wing with it. Michael Davis looking for help, taking his time now. Davis with a wide open lane with the right hand, and it falls off the rim. And Victory grabs the early lead in this overtime. We'll see if Tennessee Temple can answer. The Eagles looking for win number 22. The Crusaders for win number 20. Here's Jarrett Smith with a dish down low. Hampton Mack with the off-balance leaner. Doesn't get it to fall. And Tyrell Hersey almost traveled in that spin-around rebound attempt. Doesn't draw the whistle. And Davis on the left wing. Back up top to Tyrell Hersey. A handoff to Downey. Here is Guy from 3, and Guy's a little strong. Not a lot of work on the offensive glass of late. These two teams are tired. They push the momentum the entire or much of the first half, or very large swaths of the first half. Now it's knocked away at half court. Here comes Marcus Guy up and under. Turns around at the last second. Can't get that to fall. Out of the hands of Michael Davis. He had it wide open under the basket. He just couldn't grab the ball. Again, we're in overtime if you're just joining us. 63-61. Victory leads Tennessee Temple. If you're waiting for the game between Rochester College and the Apprentice School, so too are the teams. Elliott Johnson almost loses his dribble on the left wing. Johnson the drive. Johnson turns. Johnson fires one up, and it goes to tie this game again at 63. 3:08 left in the overtime period, and we're knotted up at 63 each. This is Davis back up to Chris Downey. The senior runs the show. Again, the 3-guard look. A long 3 is no good from Hersey. That's what Victory's employed for much of the second half, the 3-guard alignment. Dribble in from Treveros Clark and a push. That's going to go against Downey, and Downey cannot believe it. And that's his ball game. So that's why he was on the bench for such long periods of that second half. And the foul trouble gets the best of him there. So the senior is out of this game with 2:47 left in overtime of a tied game. He's the second Eagle to foul out, the other being Marko Starovic. Attrition beginning to take its toll on both of these teams, but most notably for Victory. Now at the free throw line It is Travaris Clark. And he gives Tennessee Temple the lead now. It's overtime, tied at 61. Clark can give Tennessee Temple the 2-point lead, and he does. 2:45 left in the extra period. It's Tavis Gibson running the or Michael Davis running the show now, with Downey fouled out of the game. The combo guard Davis with a good defense from Jarrett Smith. Davis looking for a ball screen, can't find it. Now a drive against Johnson, loses the dribble. Good defense by Johnson. He goes back to Tennessee Temple with a chance to stretch their lead. Smith, a give at the last second to Mack. Mack can't handle it. Smith recovers. Looking for help now. He's picked up his dribble. Double team. A timeout for Tennessee Temple. And a good job there by Jeff Harlow to bail out his 5-year senior Jarrett Smith, who picked up the dribble and then got caught in some serious trouble. So again, the lead belongs to Tennessee Temple with 2 minutes and 7 seconds to go. They've got the possession arrow and that 65-63 lead. We ended regulation tied at 61. And the last several minutes of regulation went back and forth, with Victory and Tennessee Temple, neither one able to establish much more than a 4-point lead over the final 7 or 8 minutes of this game. And I feel like I keep beating a dead horse, but a reminder, if you just joined us, Tennessee Temple trailed at points of the second half by as many as 10. Now the coach is doing a mop-up job on some of the sweat. Meanwhile, some of us waiting in the wings for the apprentice school in Rochester College. That includes the teams. Looks like Rochester has gone back inside to wait this out. Meanwhile, the apprentices players are in the bleachers on the far baseline. On the baseline to your right. And now even Jordan Brown getting in on the cleaning act and getting the congratulatory high fives from his teammates as he pitches in. Back to action. 20 seconds to shoot. 2:05 in the game. Smith almost went to the knee there. Here's Elliott Johnson. Almost crossed over the defender. Almost did it again. 10 to shoot. Johnson in the lane. A floater falls for Elliott Johnson. A 4-point lead for Tennessee Temple with 1:45 left in the contest. Victory on the ropes. They've already had 2 players foul out of this game. Their 10 of 11 stretch to finish the regular season in serious jeopardy. Now the dribble lost by Marcus Guy and the steal going the other way. Here's Elliott Johnson. Johnson to the rack. Johnson gets it to fall. A 6-point edge with 1:25 left and deep trouble for Victory. A timeout from the Eagles with 1:24 left. The Tennessee Temple bench has never been louder. They're warned that they're out too far on the floor. And the 30-second timeout there by Scott Robinson to try to calm things down. Well, Victory had so many opportunities earlier in that second half to put Tennessee Temple away in this game, and they just couldn't do it. They never did get that lead stretched beyond 10 points, and then the basket slammed shut for them. So we come back to action with 1:24 left in overtime. It is a 6-point lead for Tennessee Temple. Their biggest since the first half. Their biggest lead in the second was only 4. Davis wants to push the tempo. There's Michael Morelli with an off-balance 3, and Michael Morelli gets his first points of the game. A 3-point game with 1 minute. Here's Elliott Johnson going up the floor. Johnson, a no-look dish to Sheldon Mack on the baseline. It's out of bounds against Victory. Well, Morelli with some big minutes there, and he's going to go to the bench in favor of Kristaps Bernons, who has 4 fouls. Morelli with an off-balance 3. He may never have hit a bigger one. Minute 2 left in this game, a 3-point edge. In and out of the hands of Jarrett Smith on the rebound, or on the inbound, excuse me. Last touch by Victory. 1 minute on the nose in this overtime period. The inbound comes to Mack. Mack down low to Johnson, back to Mack on the give and go, and his shot is rejected. A great swat by Tyrell Hersey. But Victory loses it the other way. They'll set things up. Tennessee Temple will with Jarrett Smith, and now you have to think Victory, if they can't get a stop here, they'd have to foul. Johnson almost lost his dribble. And Johnson, did he take steps? A foul might have been called to bail Johnson out, and it was. Johnson was in danger of the travel there. Clock stops at 39.1 left. And a foul on Victory. It's on Kristaps Bernons. That's his 5th. So he becomes the 3rd Eagle disqualified in this game. Marko Starovic is also out. Bernons and Chris Downey lost earlier in this overtime. The shot on the way from Elliott Johnson is good. A huge free throw makes this a 2-possession game with 39.1 left. Jeff Harlow looks like he wants a timeout with a made basket. He's got the made free throw, doesn't call the timeout. 71-66. Davis pushes the tempo quickly. The handoff to Morelli. It's up top to Hersey. He almost forces one. Morelli's got it now. Morelli drives. The left hand runner from Michael Morelli falls. A 1-possession game again. Victory can't get the steal. They need the foul now. Smith works it ahead. It's into the hands of Mack, and he's fouled with 19.9 left. That's going to go against Tyrell Hersey. It's one or the other there. If you're Victory, you've either got to get the steal or get the foul quickly, and they get the foul. And that puts Hampton Mack, the senior, at the line with a 3-point game. Huge, huge free throws in this overtime. Mack's first on the way, off the back iron, no good. They would have preferred 2 of 2. They'll take 1 of 2. The 6-seeded Crusaders upset-minded. The second, good. 72-68. Davis has to hurry for Victory. Davis, the dish to the left wing for Gibson. He fires an off-balance 3. Banks, no good. Rebound pulled in by Traveris Clark, and he's fouled with 9.3 left. And Tennessee Temple can smell the upset and smell a date in the winner's bracket tomorrow night against the winner of the upcoming game between the Apprentice School and Rochester College. Clark is going to be at the line as Jeff Harlow takes the rest of his team back to discuss this, and Clark can't hit the free throw. The door cracked open just a little bit. Jake Freese is in this game. He's so far in the backcourt to guard Michael Morelli, who's in the backcourt. Second is good, a 5-point edge. Davis really has to hurry. Finds Morelli in the left wing. Morelli drives in, puts the runner up, and it falls with 2.2 left. Still some time for Tennessee Temple, or for Victory rather, if they can get a steal. A full timeout here. That's called by Scott Robinson. 73-70, Tennessee Temple leads in overtime. This has been a classic in the making early on. We'll remind you, while we have a moment, you can purchase a video download of any contest from this week's national championships, including this one, by heading to our website at www.turbosportsgroup.com. Make the order of the game film, and Turbo Sports will send you a link to download the game in full for yours to keep forever. We'll have every game available in HD and full audio commentary. Again, that's on the website at www.turbosportsgroup.com. 2.2 seconds left in this one after the timeout. And again, the chances right now for victory are slim and none. And Slim might be heading out the door. What you're looking to do here is to get a foul on the inbound. Or steal on the inbound, excuse me. If you can't get that steal and a quick look at the basket or a quick kick for a three, then you're going to have to foul and hope for two misses. The trigger man is Elliott Johnson on the inbound. Johnson looking for help. He does get it in to Jarrett Smith. That's step one. Smith is fouled by Michael Morelli. So now, biggest free throws of the season for the Tennessee Temple Crusaders belong to Jarrett Smith. 1.5 to play in this overtime period. And a three-point edge here for Tennessee Temple. At least one of the two will nearly put this out of reach. The fifth-year senior on the line. He's the guy you want. And it's a little wide. Tennessee Temple needs to catch and shoot a three if they can get the rebound, and that's to tie. Smith's free throw on the way, no good. Rebound grabbed by Hersey. Hersey with a heave at the buzzer, a little wide, and the upset for Tennessee Temple University. In overtime, Tennessee Temple comes back from a deficit of 10 points in the second half. And the Crusaders come away with a victory today, stunning the number 3 seed Victory Eagles. What a ball game here. Both teams shake hands and congratulate each other. But you know, one of them super disappointed right now. The 6th seed Tennessee Temple moves on to play the winner of the upcoming game against the Apprentice School and Rochester College. That one takes place in just a moment. They'll move on, the two winners, to play tomorrow night at 10 p.m., while the Victory University Eagles will play tomorrow morning against the loser of the upcoming game. And how about this moment? These two Tennessee schools wrap the arms around each other at half court. One was a winner, one was a loser. They both meet in a moment of prayer and excellent sportsmanship in between the two games. You know that has to hurt for Victory. They wanted the victory today. It just didn't happen for them. But Tennessee Temple pulls the upset in this tournament. There will be no consolation game for the Crusaders. They stick around. The 6th seed moves on by virtue of a 73-70 win over Victory University. Been a great win here. I'm Eric Little for Torbo Sports Group. You've been watching live coverage of the 2014 USCAA Basketball National Championships hosted by Penn State Fayette on the Torbo Sports Group Network. Stay with us. The Apprentice School and Rochester College coming right up.